Welcome, guys. It's time for another video, I guess, for another live stream. So before I start, some words from me. As usual, you can hit me in the chat if you want some more information or you don't understand me. I, by the way, get a warning from YouTube that my bitrate, my outgoing is not so well. So maybe if you can hear me, just write me in the chat that you can hear me. Another thing which might be unclear, because it was unclear to me, what is the difference between the content of the live stream here and the videos I record? Well, I decided that the difference will be I will do live streaming if I, for myself, discover stuff, which means the outcome is not clear. And I will use recorded videos when I prepare something and I know where I will be at the end, so that you can rely on those videos and you know something will come out of it. So with that said, let us just talk about what I want to do today. I just watched a lot of videos from the .NET Conf. If you don't know how to hit them, there are several ways. I'll just share my landing page with you, which is basically this one on channel 9. Maybe I will post it into hi, Dane Morris. You can hear me, I guess. So I just pasted it into the chat. There's a quick link so you can hit all the videos from channel 9. There is, if you want to watch it on YouTube, there's a channel 2 which is called .NET, I think. Write it out, .NET. And okay, that is what I watched, and there's a lot of stuff going on regarding Visual Studio 2022, .NET 6, and minimal APIs. So I want to talk, okay, thanks Dane, you can hear me, that's cool. So I want to talk today about all this stuff, and I want to do it in a more critical fashion because I think it is too naive, which is shown there. I don't know if you agree with me. You can make up your own decision. So I want to discover some ways to come around of it and do minimal APIs, maybe in a more professional way. Try some things out there, and then to show you that you still can do the old APIs with .NET 6 controller based. And so the goal today is a little bit to give you a bit more detail on all the stuff. So before I start with that, just a recap. I'll just open the Visual Studio installer, and you might be wondering why I have 3 Visual Studios installed here. So I have the now old 2019, I have 2022, the stable release, and I have the preview. So the reason for this is, first of all, I need 2019 because in my case, ReSharper is still not available for 2022, as far as I know. So because we use ReSharper in my company to have some code styles and stuff like that, that's the reason why I still have 2019. So and then I have 2022 for obvious reasons, and I have the preview still installed because one thing you miss in the 2022 installer will be, I don't know if there are more things, but one thing you miss is if you go to mobile, you don't have the option to check in MAUI, .NET MAUI, which I want to explore in the next future, just to give you the same experience here. Now you can see here is .NET MAUI, this is preview in German, this is .NET MAUI preview, and it's only available, as far as I've seen it, it is available for 2022, so but not in the official installer, I guess. Thank you, Dane. So it is available, but I don't want to mess up my, this one with some freaking installation, because everything has to glue together correctly, and in my experience that didn't work so well in the past. But thanks, Dane, for clarification. So you can have it here with an extra installer, I guess, but I don't want to do it. So that's why I just did it that way, which means I have 3 Visual Studios now. But that's not the point today. That's just to show you what is going on here on my machine. So Minimal APIs, what is going on? And before I start even with minimal APIs, I will create a new project to clarify, because it was kind of confusing to me, to clarify that there are two things new here. And if we start with a console application in the new Visual Studio, it should get clearer then. So let me go here and just create a plain .NET 6 long-term support. That's important. And if I create it, and by the way, it doesn't matter if you hit the Visual Studio create new window or if you use .NET new from the command line. You have the options there too, which I show you here. So what happens is that your new program class won't have all this stuff with the main function and stuff like that. It's gone here. So just to clear it out, this has nothing to do with minimal API. There are a few things happening here. If we look into the CS project file, you see that here implicit usings is set to enable, which basically means we don't need to have usings in each file. That's why this is omitted. And then there's an automatic behavior telling the complete framework that if you have a program CS and this one has a line of code, that this gets injected into an invisible, at design time, invisible main function, which is again syntactic sugar. I tell you this because if you hit File New Project and you go to ASP.NET Web API, let's say, because Web API, minimal API, okay, that's why I use API. And you go here and you select this, create new solution, blah, blah, blah. Now we have the options dialog, and some stuff is interesting here. You have the .NET 6, you need to select it. And then you have use controllers, or if you uncheck this, use minimal API. Hey, Kevin. Nice emoji. You uncheck this, you get minimal API. You check this in, you get normal API. Normal API. So let's first of all do this stuff. So let me, maybe I should give it a more reasonable name. So this is controller API, and solution would be API samples, whatever. So create new solution next, and then let's use controllers. I create this, and now you see I have a solution, the controller API, and I still have the same project structure as I had before with Studio 2019 and .NET 5. So this means I have a program. No, one thing is missing, to be correct. One thing is missing. It is the startup class is missing. So this, in my opinion, is okay that the startup class is missing, because it was just something which was injected there to, give you an entry point for your program class and then an own entry point for configuring everything. So now what you see here is that everything is kind of glued together in the program, and the reason for this is that they simplified the web host creation dramatically, which I like. It was pain in the, you know what I mean? So this is pretty simplified now, and you don't need this separation between program and startup. But this is not minimal API. This is important. This is just a simplified version of making .NET programs happening. So you see here, you have the builder stuff, which means from this point on, at this point, you can't change services, add services or whatever. And then you have the app configuration, which used to be two methods. This was configure services, more or less, and this was configure, I think. I don't know, and then app run. So that's not bad. You can have it this way. What then is minimal API? So let me create another project so that we have it in the same solution. ASP.NET Core again, and then call it minimal API, and do it in the same solution, and then uncheck this in order to get a minimal API project, which should be nearly the same as the other one. So let me put the two programs side by side. And so on the right side is the minimal API sample, on the left side is the classic sample. So what you can see here is that in terms of configuration, everything is kind of the same here. So until this part, more or less, the thing is the same. You see map controllers is missing because it's not using controllers. And this template does not use authorization. It uses HTTPS redirection. Let me just maybe get rid of the empty lines here, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then make this so you can see it better. And then at some point at the bottom. So now you can see it that it's basically the same without controllers. This one is missing and this one is missing, but everything else is kind of the same. Okay, cool. Next thing is, because on the right side here, let me make room for this this way. Because on the minimal API side, you don't have controllers. The idea here is that you mix the controller stuff into this file. And that's exactly what I see critical here. What I see, and I get the idea, okay, after watching it, but I don't know. So let us take a look what's happening. So now you here have some code which you normally would see inside of a controller class. I can show you this. Let us go here to maybe the controller. And now, can I just tab it here, please? Yeah, I can. So now on the left side, you have the old controller. On the right side, you have the new stuff. So this means what happened is that the same thing is going on more or less than on this side. And then you have some dependency injection logger stuff here on this side, which I'll show you in a minute. And then you have this forecast controller, which is doing dependency injection, which is omitted here completely. So now what you have is you have an annotation to say, well, that method, this C# method, should match controller method with the get verb and whatever. And this is new now. Minimal API says you just take the app which was configured or which is about to be configured. You take the app and now they have extension methods. That's what they have to create what's going on. What is ringing here? Okay. Something else. So now you can mix in the definition of your controller classes into the same file. And that's exactly what I question here, because it looks pretty nice if you have just a bunch of methods, like 10, let's say, methods in maximum. But I think it is pretty ugly if you start to fill this with professional LPIs with tend to have like whatever 20, 30, even hundreds of methods for a single service. And then it starts to get pretty ugly. That's my point here. But if we look here in the minimal API itself, what is here? So you tell the system, I want to have a get method. This is a relative URL on which to host the method, and then you have a lot of stuff like what about the data, and then I return the data. That's it. The cool thing is, and I won't go into the last detail here. The cool thing is that you have more control over the result. Can I remember? Result dot? No, it is, or results. Yeah. If you want to have more control over how to wrap this, you could say, let me see, return results, I think. I'm not pretty sure. Results, and let's do accepted and then forecast. I don't know if this is okay. If accepted is, yeah, why not? It's now and this. Can I do it? Maybe. So you have more easy control about how to return stuff. It was possible without any problem, but not so easy like here. So that's not bad. The default is that it's using Json again if you return something, and this will be a classic 200 with the thing as Json. And now because you don't want to annotate this stuff because it's just a method, an extension method. Now the annotation which used to be there, you can now use extension methods on this map get. So this is what they do here. So you read it here and you say the Swagger name for, not the route, the Swagger name for this method has to be this one. And then you can do additional stuff like, for instance, accepts application JSON, I think, no, accepts, and then there's a model, I think, accept, yeah, and there's an accepts like this one, and you can say my model if you have it, and then application JSON, so this way. I think that's the correct way. I don't have my model, that's it. So if you post methods, you can tell Swagger and the Open API, you know what, this should be the thing which is passed to me. Another thing which you normally would do is the producers stuff. So what is to be expected from this method? If you return something and weather forecast is a weather forecast, so this is weather forecast, then this is what this produces. So you can tell the Swagger something. So with this setup, you know what, let me just execute the minimal API so you can see that's actually this stuff is working. And it should be configured with, yeah, with Swagger because I'm in development. Everything is okay. It's opening in another window. So this is what you get. And now you know that this produces this one. And okay, cool. So you have the same experience. What Microsoft, by the way, again messed up, in my opinion, is to configure something which is like, let's say, what is it? How do I describe this? By the way, it's a good, say, summary method. I don't know. By the way. So in my, what do I want to achieve? If I go to the controller API, let's do set as a startup project. I had the possibility to do something like that. This retrieves weather data. So now if I execute this, and this is what Microsoft still messes up, you won't see this description anywhere. So you can see here, nothing is shown here in the description. If you want this to happen, you have to do two things, by the way. If you are interested, and I don't understand why Microsoft is not doing it by default, because if I have Swagger, this should be a cool thing. I don't know. So what is going on is the first thing, let me copy this out because I have prepared this somewhere. Yeah, thank you. So the first line is in the CS project file. So you go here into the CS project file, go to the property group here on top and paste in this thing. Which this does is saying generate the XML documentation file with this parameter. And I'll show you if I go into the folder and I follow this path to bin debug.net 6. This is a folder, more or less. And you can see here's not an XML file present. If you are wondering what kind of XML file I mean, just hang on just a second. So if I rebuild now with this setting present, you can see that here this XML file is generated, controller API.xml. So if we look at this, this is the .NET documentation schema, which, you know, takes in all the things you provided on this free slashes. Okay, cool. This file is generated. So the second step here, so that Swagger can make something out of it, is to just configure it. Makes sense in the Swagger UI, and I think it's here. If you pass in the options, you could say something like use, or was it XML? I don't know. Let me copy this out from some location. Do I have it here? I think so. Do I have it here? Yeah, I have it. Because I prepared everything a little bit so that I'm not completely dumb here. Ah, yeah, you see. Swagger again, let me paste it in and we talk about this. It is add swagger again. It's not add swagger. Where was it? App add, what the, oh, I don't have swagger again. Let me do it. Manage NuGet packages. It's another package. I forgot. So I have 3 things to do. ASP.NET Core swagger again. Install this. And now I think use swagger again. Are you providing me the... I hate you. App use swagger again. What? Do Microsoft extensions, platform extraction, this guy. App add swagger again. Sorry. Add swagger again. Why not? Oh, he is doing it. Cool. So let me just paste in some stuff. Okay, cool. So now he is maybe here. He's not happy with this one. So that is because I am missing maybe another NuGet package. Yeah, I do. Let me paste it in. So that was not the best approach. Manage NuGet packages. Blah blah blah. Platform abstractions. You don't need platform abstractions mandatory. I just use this to get this platform abstractions thing, and then I have to implement, and now you see what's going on with this file. Okay, now let me bring in the usings I need. I think those 2 usings, and then okay, he's not happy. No, you don't like it? Oh, I'm in the... I'm so dumb. Sorry. So let me do this maybe here in the correct thing. And I didn't need the other. We just have a watch in a second. There it is. Platform abstraction. So this means the only thing you need, let us go here, is again swashbuckle for swagger. You don't need the swagger again, obviously, and the platform extractions. That's what you need. Okay, sorry for the confusion. So now what you got is a thing. Why is app complaining? App is not null here. Okay, cool. Web application does not add swagger again. So he is not happy. You need add swagger again. Bad. I don't like this. You need add swagger again. Sorry for confusing you. Guys, come on. Rebuild it. No. You need it this way. Add swagger again. Why? Why not? App use swagger again? Or is it services? Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Builder. There it is. There it is. Oh, why is nobody saying something? Hi, Winged Hussar. Like it. Services, add swagger again. Okay, finally. So, my fault. What is this doing? So I showed you that now in the output folder there will be XML file, and all this is doing is getting the path to the output folder or the running folder, get the assembly name, and put, you saw in a very dirty manner, I use the plus sign, but everybody does it. Even James Newton King did it. Okay, cool, I can do it too. Then we have this thing, and then we say, let's combine the base path with this file name. We expect it to be there, and normally we should do a sanity check if it's there or not. And then you say, for the swagger again options, you know what, include the XML command. So what this brings you, if I hit F5 now, and you see I did it in this thing. So normally I would have to do it in my startup project too. Add swagger again. I have to do it here too, because here is the thing I configured this. Oh, thank you, sir. Now I have the usings missing, obviously. I'll tell you about the usings a little bit more maybe today if I don't forget it, because you might ask, why do I have to do it? There's a trick not to do it. Okay, now let's F5 this. And now what should happen is, you see your command is there. So he gets this out of the XML file, and that's why this is cool. I don't get why I have to do this by my own, because this is something Microsoft should build in. If they have Swag again, well then freaking use it, you know, that's what I mean. But they never did it in the past, so you had to do it by your own. Cool. So that is one thing. And what I wanted you to show is, now I am a little bit lost, because now I configured Swag again. I could go here and ensure with this line, that's why I use this, this syntax, because all the variable values are passed in, so I can just copy this into any project I like and have it happening. So if I now use this as startup project, the thing I am missing here is how the hell, maybe somebody from you knows it, how can I add it this way? Oh, it's just a summary. Can I do this? Just questioning. Let's go. Let's see if a smiley appears in my documentation. No. So that is pretty weird. Is this summary the same or isn't it? It is not the same. It's placed. It's not placed in a valid language only. That's what I mean. So now this is not a method. This is an extension method I call, and I don't know where. Maybe let's see. You see the tags are here. Allow anonymous. Authorize should be here. Requires authorization is the same as authorize was. It's better here because you can, I think, tell him what type of middleware to use. I think you can do it. I don't know. So with tags, add, I don't know, accepts. Okay, what produces? We already have this. Require authorization produces problem. Cool. You should fix the problem instead of. But anyway, require host. I don't know this. Require course. Cool. With display name, with group name, with metadata. Maybe this. What can I do here? What is with metadata? Adds provided metadata items to endpoint builder, blah, 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 produced by, collection of metadata items. Thanks for saying nothing, because it's just, what is going on now? With metadata. No, again not. So, okay, it seems to me like with is a correct name. So display name, what is display name doing? Fox. What is now? What is it? It has to be, oh, he's not happy? Well, he is. I see. So this must be somewhere here. Do I have, no Fox here? Okay, cool. So what happens? I don't know, with display name. Sees the end, sets the endpoint, build a display name to the provider. Yeah, I guessed that too. Thank you. Let us Google this. How can I, what is my question? My question is, please, ASP.NET Core Minimal API, method description, method summary, maybe minimal APIs overview, building minimal, please, from MVC2, maybe Ben, tell me, Ben Foster. Let's show this. Where is summary? No range. Weather forecast? No, it's just, oh, heck. it is. Okay. No API. Maybe if, oh, cool. I have to read this. Opinionated is every time is good. It's the same I do. So anyway, maybe someone of you knows the answer how I can now add the description here, which I think is a pretty important part of OpenAPI specification, to add a meaningful description to API, but I can't see how this happens here. So even if I don't mind this problem, okay, let's say this problem is not so weird, but now let's say I have, just for clarification, I now have a post method, which is again weather forecast in this logic, which is defined, I don't know, return results, bad request. I don't know, I don't have time for this now, but now we should have, can I add map post? Why? Oh, because this one, map post, weather forecast, this moves to dot, correct, with name, I'll leave it out, with accepts, and accepts should be something like, oh, I have here, this will be, what is it, weather forecast, can I do this? Bad request? I can. Accepts weather forecast, to be honest, in JSON, whatever. So, okay, cool. So, and so on and so on. And now I would have map put and map delete. Map put and map delete. Just to see if this is working as I expect it to work. Oh, no, it isn't. Body was inferred, but that was not allowed. What? Below the list of values that I found. Forecast, body inferred. Body inferred. Where is he? Map delete. Oh, map delete. So from body, maybe. Is this what he's explaining? Oh, no. I think this was from body. He does not know what from body is using this one. Okay, it builds, but no, but oh, I did it. So here you go. Now we have the controllers, the controller methods. That's cool. And now let's take a look at this. Who the hell, I ask, is going to like this if this gets, like, let's say, oh, this was controller 1, and then let's say you don't make the strict distinguishing on, you know what I mean. Let's say sample, just to simulate another API which does exactly the same. And now explain to me, please, how you will maintain this code. I don't get it. So, and I don't like it at all. That is weird. So now, oh, invert extend endpoint and get, yeah, I see. I mixed up something here. So I have to get rid of get weather forecast and get weather forecast here because it making, so just make it simple. I don't like it. You can write me if you see the problem too. Minimal API, and then we have /sample and everything. You don't have controllers by your own, so everything is one API. I guess that's what is meant to be here, and I can't relate to this. The only option would be to say, you know what, if you have small REST APIs, like you should have them, like they have just one entity which they are targeting, and now you would have one project per entity, and you do all the stuff. I get this point, but in this scenario, I will make the note that then you have exactly that much minimal APIs that you have entities. I don't see this happen too in real life projects. To be honest, I don't get the point here. Every API normally needs an OpenID registration. You just blow up the whole thing. So what could you do? First of all, what I recognize, what is possible, you can have, in minimal APIs, you can have some default class. Let me look this up. Because I detected it, I forgot how to use it. Maybe I took some notes. Services at Swag again, producers, I know. Exclude from description. And then there is some good stuff too. But let me see if I had DB response. Oh, I didn't mention this. Okay, let me see. ASP.NET minimal API defaults. Minimal APIs overview. Okay, let's go here. Mapget, I got this. I got this too. Working with ports, web application builder. This is cool. Period. This is cool. That this is possible. You see this application name, content root path, environment name, web root. Cool. Strictly cool. We need this. Where is this thing? What I want to show is, for instance, you want to say that your complete API should have the accepts to application JSON or XML, whatever. You can put this stuff into one central class and configure it. I forgot how to do it, obviously. Maybe I see it at logging provider, at service, customize iOS builder, change the web root, custom dependency injection container, add middleware, developer exception page. No, it's not there here, or is it? Request handling, Lambda, route handlers. I forgot how to do it. Okay, I hate it. So this is a live cast. I can discover it with you. I always have to remind myself that I can strictly do this in a web session, because you can leave it if I'm boring you out, or you can write me in the chat and you don't do it. And that's why I don't like it, that I don't know. I forgot the defaults. Let me see. No, bind as in when fine. Empty template, yeah, I know. Binary resource, custom JSON binding. I forgot how to do it. I don't get the point. Open API, maybe here's something about the documentation. Cool. Exclude from description. This was something I didn't show you. You can define a get which is not visible in the Swagger. I told you this. Add an operation. ID, yeah. Okay, cool. Add text. With text to do group. Okay, I think this is interesting, because this solves one problem. Let me see. If I think with text first, and I add this to all my blahs, the first ones until delete, and then I can do second, and I think I can now group my methods, because I think a tag is a group. If I remember this right, we get rid of this one thing list. It's not a controller, but it should be first and second. Yeah, that's exact. You see? First and second. Now you have the same visual experience like with controllers, and you can name it like you want. So that is solved. Okay. I admit that. Cool. Data access, host deploy, performance, advanced migration, 5.0 to 6.0. What else? Update. Yeah, oh, that's a migration if you have an existing project. Minimal APIs. It's not that bad, that big, this section. Maybe they don't take it too serious by themselves. They don't just find it cool. I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead. What do I make out of it? Let's assume I would like to use minimal APIs for some reason. What I would do, in certain cases, I would go back a little bit to the old days without using too much stuff. So for instance, we could take all this stuff here, which is service injection, and we could, you know, carve it out again. The easiest way would be void configure, you just see in a minute, configure services with, what is it? It is iService collection. iService collection services. So that's exactly what the old method was. So what you could do now is you could take this one out and say services, and all you would need now is to say configure services, builder.services. So first iteration. Now what I got is I have a method for this stuff. Now I do the same for configure app. Let's say I'm doing it this way, and now what I need is, what is this? This is web application. Web application app. I could do the same. Var app is this one. And now I could do this one. Is he happy? Yeah. And then I could say app dot configure app. No, configure app. App. So what I win, or what I gain here is, can I do this? Yeah. If I'm doing a pretty simple trick, which is add class, and let's call it, surprise, startup. I misspelled it. Startup. And what I can do here is partial class program. If you don't know what partial classes are, never mind, I'll explain it in a minute. Let me carve this out, paste it in here, and see if this still builds. I don't know. Configure app, and I see it does not build. Configure services is not there. Oh, assembly. I see. You don't need this anymore, but you need it. Namespace. This one. And what about now? Can you? No, you can't. Yeah, you can. You see? No, you can't. You can, you cannot, you can't, you cannot. So, but don't be surprised that I internal partial class. You see what I mean? Internal, and I think you don't, you have to omit the namespace. That's what the magic was. Dep. So what about now? Come on. No? Static void? Is that what you need? You need static, of course, because this method is static. And now you wonder, how do I know? Yeah, now it's happening. How do I know? So first of all, let's explain what, if you don't know what it is, what partial class is. So if you have a class and you want to split the code of the same class into several files, you could use from, I don't know, .NET 1.0 on, you could use the partial keyword, and they used it for Windows Forms, to split out, for instance, the code behind file into a designer file and a normal file. So whatever, if you don't know what it is, forget it. It's just, this thing means partial. If you have two classes in two files, before you compile C#, just merge the files. That's it. And then you have one file again and it compiles as a normal class. I think that's what it does. So we can use it, and we could use it without partial class because you know, I'm just taking care that I only have one type, which is program, inside of my compiled version. So now I have this, and I can use it as if this method was in the same file. That's what I do. So let me, by the way, put all this stuff into a region controller stuff, and until here, so that we can, you know, take care of it and just whoop. That's a region. So what is internal record? Oh, internal record, you see, oh, I like it. But anyway, I could use this, I think, and put it in my startup. Can I? Internal partial, and it is here. Is this working? Is this working? Seems so. Is it still working? Okay, it works. It works. Okay, cool. So now what I gained is, if I split this out, now the X lines at the bottom, at the top here, now again are, you know, merged together. What I could do, I could write them as extension methods. So I could do the fluid configuration and saying something like configure services. Do you want me to show it? Comment if you want to show it, or give me a hint. If you want this, do you want to see it? No, yes, do it now. I'll just leave it out for a minute if you don't want to see it. Okay, but we just carved out all the stuff of this file. If you want to know why this is important, I just show you the default configuration stuff which my company is. Oh yes, please, Wing Tuzar, you get it. You want this is okay, let's do it. So in order to make this an extension method, we have to do the following. Public static class extensions. Let's say my extensions. So we need a static class, I think, and then we go over and say public static void. Is it returning anything? Let me see. Builder. Oh yeah, we need a web application builder out of it. Okay. No, we don't need it. Void configure services. This iService collection. Let me just type it, and then let's see if this works. And we just copy this guy. Okay, cool. So the same source code. What I could do now is, I think, configure services, which is not in the correct namespace, my extensions, and this is public static void configure server. Why? I get confused here. Show partial fix cannot assign void to an implicitly. Oh, it's void. So I need what this is returning. This is a web application builder. So this must be web application builder, and then I think I need to return services. No, because it's not a web application builder. What is create builder, configure services? Builder services. It gets the services from the builder. And now I need the web application builder. I see. Let's see, this web application builder, let me correct this. Builder, return builder. And here is, I'm a little bit lost. So this works, and now this works too. So now I can omit this, and I don't need this anymore. Okay, first version of mine. Is it still working? Question mark. Seems so. Okay, so what I did is, and I could do this, by the way, in the old fashion too, and I should do it. Okay, so now it's a one-liner, and then I use the build method of it, and now I could use something like var app equals build, and now that's it. And the complete configuration is inside my own extension method. Alt F12, you see this is my extension method, and now you can see I can do here everything, and now it gets cleaner. So this startup, in my opinion, is even cleaner. And now all I have to do is something like app.configure. No, and there is no app.configure. And what I could do around this is I just use this here, just move it, and I have to be public static. And what is it returning? Configure app, app.configure. It is returning configure app. What was going on? Nothing, because I just said configure. Use HTTP, and then at some point app run. Okay, so that means I just pass in. What do I pass in? It is web application again. This web application. This is for making it an extension method for this type. And now app.configure should work. It should. Oh, I named it configure app. I see. So now he's happy. That's it. And I think I could even say this. Can I? No, I can't, because it's not returning the app. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. That was too much. So 2 lines. I don't want to take it any further. So that's it. 2 lines. And you have it. And this is kind of, clean, and you don't mess up your complete program file with all the stuff, but you end up with another class, with this extension class, which should be something like configuration extensions, okay? And then if you make it the clean way, you don't mix classes in files. So let me do this for you. Configuration extensions, take it out of the startup, just, put it in here. And I think it can be still minimal API, but if we do so, he is not finding it. That's interesting, by the way, because of this namespace stuff. And now he will find it, and now we just need to have this stuff in the extensions. I hope you can follow on. And now the indentation is gone. How was it? Format document. Added KC? No. KD? Yeah. Control KD. For formatting a document, if you want to know how it works. So this is the configuration extension. Now this thing is pretty much gone. It only has the record. So what we should do is we should use weather forecast as a class, because I consider this bad code too. It's a record, yeah, I get it, but the record is compiled into a class, and now we don't have a file for the weather forecast class here. I don't know. I don't like it. And plus, it's pretty unlogical, because normally you would have a domain model or something like that sitting around, and it's never gonna be, or in the rarest cases, gonna be a record laying in some file. So what you would do is you make a weather forecast thing, public class, we don't need it. So instead of public class, you use this one again. So bam, internal, okay. Now startup is completely gone, and this should work. Should it? Yeah, it should. It does exactly the same. It's not complaining. Try it out, execute, and there you have data. So in my opinion, this is better in the first iteration. This is better maintainable. This is logically seeable here. You have configuration, you have the program, which is the startup, which has only the necessary stuff. Only thing here is that we have the controller stuff still, but anyway, and then you have the weather forecast as an entity, as a record in this case. Okay, cool. And the last stuff would be to get out this controller stuff of this file too, because you know I don't know what the problem with files is nowadays. Why everybody hates files, but anyway, let us do it. So what we could do here is a normal extension class or a normal class, or we can use extensions again. So what we could do is add class and then first extensions, which is not a good name, I get, but to give you the idea and to stay in the schema which I was here. So again, leave the namespace out, and I'll come later to this namespace point. That confused me too in the first step. So minimal API cease project, I don't need you. So that would mean I would take this stuff, the first stuff, where is it? Until the delete thing, and I would say public static void configure first services, this web application app, I think, and then I can use this. Yeah, and now he does not, he's not knowing what summaries are. And summaries are basically this one. It's an IEnumerable of string. So we could say, you know what, IEnumerable of string, or we can, in this scenario, say, you know what, your summaries are this one. Var is not allowed. Private, it's just faking the database, you know, that why private string summaries is static. Even better, and now he's happy. And the only caveat I have is, what the, is it not? Wait a second. Is it? This is normal for you? This is normal indentation? I don't know. Is it? Okay. So from body is unknown to him, which is ASP.NET Core MVC. We have to do it, and you know, first thing for you here, new stuff. If you don't want to add the using all over again, now you can do the following. Let me see if I can remember it, or if I mention this at least. I think I had it somewhere. What's new in EF Core? No. Minimal APIs, and there is something. Public static. From services, from body. Configuration. And there was this using. Let me see. You can do it in .NET 6. CS project. I forgot the syntax. Using. Implicit using statements. And you can mix it in. Yeah, I have it. No. Yeah, here it is. Item group, and then this is simply what you need. So let me item group this. and then this, and now I can say, you know what, I want where was it? This namespace to be present implicitly. You could put it in. Now you have it, and now he at some point, first extension, should be happy. It should work. Let me just remove this stuff out. We don't need it anymore. We can just put our controllers in later. So what is, whoa. There's something wrong with my, item group. Sir, make it correctly and maybe then it works. Oh, thank you. So, and now what? First extension, he's happy because now the using is injected invisibly. You know, this is .NET 6, that had nothing to do with ASP.NET. That's cool. So now let's double check if it's running. No operations. Oh, that's bad because I'm not calling it. You see. So what I need to do is app configure first services. Before I run the app, I'm calling my extension method here. So now my first service is coming to play, and now I could just copy this out and say second, you know what I mean. Just the extensions. Oh, where is it? Okay, he's not taking care. Second extensions, and now every first is a second in this current document. Bam. Is it working? And then app configure second services, and it should work. Okay, I see. I did something wrong in the second. What did I wrong? Weather forecast with second. Weather forecast with second. Weather forecast with second. From body second extensions. What the hell is? What is he complaining about? Cool thing. What did I do? What did I do? Wait a second. Why is he telling me? What is this? Please save. Okay. C# sync encountered an error been disabled. C# sync namespaces code refactoring provider encountered an error and has been disabled. Blame yourself. So one of our projects have changed and cannot detect it. Please save. Okay, reload projects. Okay, is it better now? If so, why? No, fetch error 500 in second. Post weather forecast on second. Is it because they are sample? I think sample was it, wasn't it? Yeah, because it's the same. Yeah. So now we have exactly the same result, but if we for some reason need to use minimal API or want to use or whatever, I think that this startup procedure or a variation of this is far more better readable and understandable, because we just hit commands and then here add endpoints using minimal API and initial, we don't need this anymore, initial config, and then run the app. So 3 steps, pretty good, extensible. We could even do this in one method and stuff like that. So I think far more better than what was going on before. And this is the glue, configure services, and configure, which are extension methods I provided. So tell me what you think about this, first of all. Then maybe what was else interesting here. What I did like, let me see. I liked implicit usings. I like this somehow because it always bothered me. There's some stuff in Entity Framework Core I like, which I don't want to mention here. Then I had some notes which I can share with you, which was pretty cool. Open API at endpoints API Explorer. Map get producers exclude from description. We had this require authorization. Pretty interesting because it replaces the authorize attribute. Testing is pretty cool. I won't show it here today, but there's a new base type which is called Web Application Factory. And Web Application Factory is able to give you some testing initialization if you want to do integration testing and stuff like that. And it's far more easy than it was. So what they did good, but I think it has nothing to do with minimal APIs. This is ASP.NET Core 6. What they did better is it is more lightweight than it was. There is some other important part. If you for a reason have, let's say, my interface inside of your DI. So maybe let's do it. Let's do a new project. I think I wrote this in the description, so it's fair to say this, to show this. Class library. It's my first class library in .NET 6. So what is central logic? For some reason we call it central logic in the API samples .NET 6 long-term support. Okay, cool. So first thing first, I sample blah. Yeah, do it. Public interface, I sample, and now for simplicity reasons, let's do a new class and say sample and implement the interface, which is not so hard currently. Not internal. This is new. This is new. Internal is the default. So public interface. Okay, cool. So now what I need is I am at minimal API. Add project reference to the central logic. And what I want to achieve is that my method, first extension, let's say for some reason this guy needs it needs an I sample. And I think it's working this way from, was it from services? I'm not sure. I sample. So, and then let's see, I sample is unknown to him. Okay, use the central logic now. Now I sample, and now we need a method, of course, string ID get. Okay, and then sample needs this. Oh, you need some time to calculate this. Is this, where's my shortcut? Oh, I hate you. I don't know where my shortcut went. Implement interface, and this will be GUID, new GUID, oh, tab. New GUID, tab. You saw this? This is the new machine learning stuff. He knows what I want. He knows me better than anybody. Seems so. So, and what I can say now here is, if I need this I sample, then I could do, what can I do? Let me add something here to string ID. Okay, and then you have to pass it in, or you can leave it out, and no, you have to pass it in. ID. Datetime now text. Oh, this is sample ID. That way. Yeah, it is. And on the other side, the second one does not need it for some reason. Anyway, so let's see if I do the dependency injection, which I do in my configuration extension here when I implement the services, builder. It's like in the old ways, services, what was it? Services, it is at, I don't, not Singleton, but I forgot. At, not Scope, not Singleton, what was it? At, help me guys, I can't remember the name, not Scoped. At Transit, thank you. And it is, first of all, the service. I think it is the T service, T implementation. This means I sample is sample. Get the usings. Okay, cool. So, and again, I could say here, can I? Some of my shortcuts are messed up. Central logic, which should end in, I don't need central logic here on the top. Now it's gray. I don't know, is the performance just bad on my machine or everywhere? I expected it to be like, you know, and now here I want to do this one. It's totally fine. And let's go and just run it. And what I wanted to show is, because we don't have a class, a controller class anymore, you might ask, you know what? Where or how do we pass? And you see it's working. It has an ID. Where do we pass in, or how do we pass in dependencies? And this is from services here, which I used here. So it's annotation on, you know, if you just say I sample, I don't even know if this works. It might work because he does it maybe automatically. I don't know. Seems so. Yeah, it works without this. You see, this is kind of cool. They made it pretty cool. So there are things I like around this. So they thought about a lot of stuff, but not in the manner they showcase it here. And that's what I wanted to show. I wanted to explain, I remember, why it is so important to have it this way, to have configure services in different methods. I'll show you this now, because I wanted to show what we as a customer, as a company, we DevTier in this case, we have a NuGet package, by the way, where you can take a look at it, but I don't want to do merchandising on this NuGet package. But let me show you one thing. I have a method here, REST API extensions, and then configuration extension. Let me show you this folder. No, wrong tool, Visual Studio Code. Let us open Visual Studio Code at least once. So this is inside my NuGet package, and we have a configuration extension. This is for .NET 5. So what this does is, it is a clean approach to configure all of our web APIs in the same manner all the time, depending on some configuration. And what we have here is, we have the configuration for the app configuration here, and we have the configure services here. Let's take a look at configure services. What is important at configure services? Exception middleware, Swagger, which again, Swagger in this case looks small, but what this does, what this does is it goes to the Swagger configuration extension, which is another class, extension class, and now those are the Swagger options that might come into place. Just imagine to do this stuff, this kind of code in one file, only this configuration. It's already a mess if you do it. So I don't get the point here. But anyway. So then it goes over, that was just Swagger. The next thing is application insights, for instance, transient for the response middleware. It's a custom middleware to add data to responses and application insight. CORS configuration. Need controllers. I get health checks, API versioning. Nobody talks about API versioning, which is still there, and I think an API without versioning is a big sin, because how will you maintain an API without versioning? All the API Explorer stuff, then authentication, which is a science for itself, Azure AD B2C, other OpenID providers, I don't know, Swagger, custom middlewares, blah, blah, blah. And this is just CORS, this is just CORS. If you think about it a little bit more deeper, what options are supported. So I just showed this not to brag, but to give you an idea why it is bad to put logic of this kind into one file. So don't take this too serious. If you see people doing it in the demos, don't take it too serious. And I just wanted to detect a little bit together with you how I would do it. And I think this is an approach. I admit that it makes no sense anymore, because what I end up is I ended controllers. You see this extensions, can get rid of it, and I have controllers. All I don't have nested C# code, and I don't know if this is so bad to have this in place. This is what they want to omit. They don't want this class. They don't want attributes. They want plain things. So, and I think about it, why they want it. I think it is because they are targeting people who are used to write things like Node.js. I think this thing gets more and more, no, not this thing. Let us do the original version again, because what is going on? Add new project. Let us do this again, because I can't see it anymore. Web application. Original minimal. Use controllers, no, create. So if you look at this, I think we can agree on the fact that this looks pretty damn similar to what you would expect in Node.js and other frameworks. And I think that's what they target. And I don't like it. That's the simple truth. I think it works. I think it will not bother people who are used to Node.js and stuff like that. But that's it. Okay. I missed something. One thing I missed. The usings I showed you. Oh yeah. There is a trick, I think. If you don't want to use this using stuff, I think if you go and add a file, I don't know, if you add a file, just a class, and you call it whatever you want, global usings, whatever. You can call it like you want, and you just remove this, and you remove the namespace, and you say global using, and then you go to, this is .NET 6, okay? This is not ASP.NET 6, .NET Core. ASP.NET 6, is this what it's called? And you annotate a using with the word global. That is important too. Where is my, what the heck? What was the other thing? This one, and I just can remove now this one. And if I'm using a global using, so that way, I think this is even, this idea was first shown in ASP.NET Core MVC, And there was a file pretty similar to this for injecting usings into controllers. You might know this file. And this is kind of the same idea, and it still should work. It's just no class. It's just a C# file with global using, with usings named with global. So what this shows you, it does not matter how you do it. You just can get rid of usings, which are, I admit, pretty unnerving over time, because as you saw in my sample here, which is .NET 5, and it does not have this stuff. And if you take a look at the top, this is what you can expect from a more sophisticated C# source. Nowadays, you have a lot of using stuff. And this gets better now. There are a lot of points I like in .NET 6. Performance seems to be pretty cool. gRPC is pretty good, supported. I have to take a look at this too. I'm pretty interested in EF6, EF Core 6. There's a lot of stuff, and I definitely should do a demo on this next week or whatever. Tell me if you would like this idea to do EF Core 6 or EF6. Is it still Core, or is it EF6 now? What is it? Let me take a look at my notes. It's still EF Core, isn't it? If I go here, and they tell you this is a thing I watched from this, and it's EF Core. So that's interesting. It's still EF Core, but it is not .NET Core. Marketing team, wake up. Okay, cool. I think that's it. That's what I want to achieve. That's how I would do minimal API. And I should not do it, because I end up doing the same shit I did before. So baseline, I don't like minimal APIs. I guess that's it. Okay, now we know. I hope it was still interesting. I'm not getting that much discussion today. Thanks for joining still and giving me some hints, if somebody is still here. And just tell me what you think, and if you think that EF Core 6 would be a good thing for next week's live session. I'm planning to do it either way you watch or not. So have a nice week, and I will, by the way, for the last thing, I will do another video this week on Bicep. If you are interested in the follow-up of the first part, I did one part already. There will come something this week. I think tomorrow. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Have a nice night, have a nice week, and see you next week. Bye.